Hi, it's Mike from Phase 1 DJ Store. I've got a product I need to show you today. I've just got back from Frankfurt, from the Music Messe show, and we went out there and went to have a look at the Pioneer RMX 1000. In this video, it's a bit all over the place. It's not one of our normal videos. We hook up with Jonathan, DJ Tutor, Rick Parkinson, who gives a great walkthrough of the product. Sound quality might not be of the greatest, and we also see some footage of some DJs using the product. I think this video is a little bit different. Like I say, it's going to be chopped up, there's going to be snippets, there's going to be loads of pictures, but I think it will give you an insight to what this product can do. We went out there, and to be honest with you, this is one of the hottest products I saw out there. It's the Pioneer RMX 1000, and this video should give you an insight to what it can do. If you want some more info, click the link.
Now,
very good.
Everybody that did a roll on the DJ 900 then tried to do the wet to dry thing. It might have slipped a little bit, but
that's on. That's on. Yeah. I always like the 3/4 time as well, because there's slightly more emphasis over the beat. You can hear and feel it more instead of a half or quarter.
So now that's the roll pad. Now we've got this drum machine inside here as well. So this works in two ways. We have these standard synthesized sounds of a hi-hat, clap, and a snare. But you can also load in your own samples. You can have four banks of 4 sounds, totaling 16 seconds per bank.
That's pretty.
And then what is even cooler is you can start to put in your own beats. So.
And if you're slightly off, will it do the timing for you?
It quantises them. So a good way to demo that, if I just stop that, and I'm just going to put overdub mode on, which means it'll loop, but I'm going to turn quantize off, and I'm just going to go. So it's looping, but it sounds awful. Yeah. If I turn quantize on, do the same, just randomly hit a load of buttons, snap it to its retrospective beat, then it will be a perfect loop. He says.
He says. Sweet. Very good.
When you start to do that over the top of the track, you get some nice little sounds. So if I mute all these out and then just put a snare in, so now I can unmute it. Introduce a hi-hat. And then what you can do now is start putting these little fills. So put in this little fill, and then
and again, thinking outside the box, you've got that little drum pattern going. Slowly bring this track out, get another song ready on here, and mix that in over the beat you've made.
put a kick in.
As it's called, remix, eh? Loving it.
And you hear that's really tight.
Yes, it is. Yeah. You know, you've sussed that age-old problem about getting a beat and trying to keep it in time while you're doing it on the fly.
look at the Remix Box software. So I'm just going to stick a loop in over here. If I now start to sync the units, these two are now talking to each other. So if I just engage, excuse me, I had a few beers last night.
Didn't we all?
So I'm going to engage an echo. You can hear I've got like this portion of the echo going. If I now hit echo, I change it to a 60.
Sweet.
Or 8 quarters, half. So this portion of the subparameter will only ever be that timing. There'll then be 3/4 when I go here, half down here.
Yeah.
And all these settings are saving instantly into the unit. So on the noise, for example, if I hit noise, we can change the oscillation of the white noise, for example. So now it's side chaining. It's dipping on the peak volumes.
Yeah.
I like a sawtooth. So
is this something you can only do on the software, or are you doing this on the software, then that can be transferred to the SD card, put in the hardware, and
so there's 3 ways this would work. Out the box, you hit default mode, and there's the default settings that are preset and you can't change. If you've done your settings inside Remix Box and you don't have an SD card in, it will save the settings directly onto the unit by hitting user.
Right.
But then if you put an SD card in, it will overwrite those settings and go to these settings. So 3 different ways of saving your settings basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me the sawtooth is the best.
Right, I hope you're getting this, ladies and gentlemen. It's a bit of a tutorial as well. How much were you involved with the actual manufacture, the design of this?
I've worked with this one for about 1.5 years now.
It must be for you. It must be so exciting to be at the forefront of the music technology, you know, to be part of, you know, the best DJ company out there. And to have this in front of you and think, you know, I did some of this.
Yeah, so it's very rewarding when you see, you know, obviously we work in a team, of course. Part of everything we have guidelines, budgets, and all these other political things that we have to adhere to when we design products. Yeah, sure, it's very rewarding when you see the concept you work on and develop to a final piece of hardware such as this. So
fantastic.
Anyway, we're not finished on the product.
We're not finished, come on.
So yeah, some more ways you can do stuff is, for example, the release effects. I'll show you something that's quite cool. It is the on the EFX 1000 we had a trick called the feedback loop where you can completely sample. So basically you can still do that inside it, it just works in a different way. So if I go into my echo effect, we've got all these different settings here. So I'm going to hold my echo release, so that'll never degrade. So if we go into like DJM style, it'll degrade.
Yeah.
So when you kind of use that with the echo, you can get so I was a trick that was really cool inside the EFX 1000, and now it just works in a bit of a different way. So.
Very good. And there we go, we've got the music stopped over there now and everything's happening through this little baby.
But I did a stylish exit to my feedback loop though.
Yeah, alright, okay. Maybe I missed that, I'll have to try. Alright guys, rewind.
Delay.
Got you. On the software and then down onto the hardware. Yeah. Got you.
So for me personally, I put like one big number 1 here, so I'll always, so if I slip over it, I'll always be the same. And then you've got these little fills either end. Then literally just drag it in. And then also this is where you load your samples. So
could you show us again go back to where you load the samples?
So hit the X pad.
Yeah.
And then you bring up the X pad. So that's where I just edited my roll pad.
Yeah.
Here's how you edit the oscillated sounds. So if I want that hi-hat to be louder, or a different type of sound, you've got a synthesized sound, so you can really start to play around with it. And then if you go over onto the sampler and hit one of these slots, you basically just browse for a sample and load your samples in there.
Perfect.
And also, I'm sure it doesn't hurt to say this, we have a new version of Recordbox coming that will enable you to splice samples out of there and load them directly into the software.
Nice. And as well, ladies and gentlemen, Recordbox is a free software program, and best place to get that, Rick?
Is pioneerdj.com.
Fine, excellent.
So yeah, kind of, oh, now we need to go, so that's the hardware, and the Remix Box software all comes inside the box, and then the final part of the puzzle is the VST.
Solche Sachen könnt ihr natürlich alles machen. Ihr könnt auch einfach noch einen Groove damit zuspielen.
So it's going to load at Ableton. I'm going to stop the CDJ for this, but start up a track. Here's one I prepared earlier. So this is just a track running inside Ableton. I'm just using the 900 sound card to get the audio.
Yeah.
So for anybody that doesn't know what a VST is, or an AU, a VST stands for Virtual Studio Technology, and an AU stands for Audio Unit. Basically, where VST came from, Steinberg introduced Cubase, and in the in the old school days, people had hardware studios, and no matter what analog kit you were putting into the studio, it was possible. You just plugged it in. Then software was introduced, and it was hard for example, Korg to put their keyboard inside Cubase.
Right.
So Steinberg opened up their software so people could create their VSTs. That's why you get Native Instruments, Sugar Bytes, all these different VSTs, this hosted style software. So now, all of our effects, you can now recreate in a software environment.
Sweet.
And the really cool thing is about it, sure this will work as a controller like this, so you can do this with your mouse, but this is where the fun comes in. This is a hardware device controller.
Sweet.
So what you can do now is obviously record all of this automation in. So if I just hit record, and basically now no matter what I do, so if I now pull up, and away we go. All of our automation. And then you can start to edit this, if I didn't like how that sounded. So what we're trying to do here is bring DJ's effects, but into a studio environment. Sure, you can either use this to make a mix with, like people do in Ableton, or obviously you can just use it to produce with. So we're pitching a bit of a different market.
You're a bit of a brain, aren't you? I can imagine, Rick, when you die, what they're going to do is they're going to open up your head and quickly pickle your brain so they can keep all the knowledge.
I've got a very good team working with me. That's a very political answer to this.
Excellent.
So yeah, in a Jonathan Lewis style nutshell. It's the RMX 1000, our new remix station, the VST and AU support that comes inside the box, and the Remix Box software. It's going to retail at £600 and it should be available in May.
In May, and that is May 2012, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
All right, Rick, thank you very much.
Pleasure.
I'm sure we will talk in the near future. In fact, we're probably talking about 3 or 4 seconds time after a few more clips. But what's the best saying in the world? Practice
and enjoy.
Hey.
So, dann zeige ich euch nochmal unseren Notausgang, den wir hier haben. Natürlich können wir auch unsere Roteffekte einsetzen, wie sonst auch, weil das schon vom 900er kennen. Und das Ganze natürlich auch aufnehmen. So, das Ganze können wir auch dann mal so machen.